Hello, everyone. Good evening, guys. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes for others to dial in, and then we get started. Thirty more seconds, guys, and we'll get started. Okay, let's get started, guys. First of all, warm welcome to OIC training by UnoGeeks. It's a first session for your batch today, and I'll start with my introduction. This is Prasad. I have almost 20 years of experience in integration space and close to 8 to 9 years of experience in OIC. In fact, I've been using it from day one Oracle released it. I did almost 10 to 12 Fusion Cloud implementation projects using OIC as a key integration tool, guys. And whatever use cases that I'm going to show you in the sessions, 15 integrations, 5 EBCS and 5 PCS applications, all of them are real-time scenarios that I've built and delivered for actual end clients. Well, we also have pretty good exposure to other integration products available in the market today, like MuleSoft, Boomi, and so on. And I have a pretty good exposure to the Fusion technical skills as well. Okay. And this is what I have. And I have, I've delivered almost 100 plus batches for OIC guys, both regular and corporate trainings put together. And this is what I have an agenda for today, guys. And before I walk you through this, please note, guys, whenever you join a training session, you will be muted by default. That doesn't mean you cannot speak up during a session. At any point during a session, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, ask the question, and then go back on mute. Okay. And also, I would be leaving out at least 5 to 10 minutes towards the end of the session, only for Q&A, guys. Okay. So when first two sessions would be free demo sessions, and we try to cover a lot more content than what we normally do in a 1 hour training session. So first, it will be difficult to keep the first two sessions interactive, but from day 3, it would definitely be interactive. And during the session also, I'll be able to take the questions as well. So before, feel free to let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. I'm open to adjust my pace. So before we talk about what exactly OIC is and what components we have in it, we'll try to spend 5-10 minutes and understand why do we need a product like OIC in first place? Why should you learn it? And what are the integration challenges that we have in today's world with cloud everywhere? Okay. So we'll try to focus on, focus on why do we need a product like OIC, and what integration challenges we have in today's world. We'll go through that, the initial 5-10 minutes. And after that, we would take a live integration scenario. Okay, we'll consider a Salesforce to ERP integration scenario as an example. And we'll see how easy it is to build integration in OIC. So 15 minutes, understanding the why part. And the next 30 minutes, we'll go into OIC instance. We'll take a sample integration use case. And I want all of you to realize how easy it is to build integrations in OIC on day one itself. Okay, and after that, we do a question and answers. Now, why do we need a product like OIC in first place, guys? If you look at the IT landscape of any company, if you look at IT landscape of any companies, maybe 5 years back or 10 years back, all the applications that clients used to use were on-prem applications, So if you take a scenario, let's assume that we are doing implementation for Emerson, which is a US-based manufacturing firm. It's not a fictional firm, guys. It is an actual company that works out of US. Okay, and it's a US-based manufacturing firm. And 5 years back, if they wanted to implement Oracle ERP product, what is it that they had to do, guys? Oracle used to have an offering called e-business suite or Oracle e-business suite or applications. And Emerson had to spend a lot of capital upfront, and they had to buy the required application and a database servers from Oracle to run the EBS applications. And Emerson has to onboard a DBA team. Okay, they used to onboard an Oracle applications DBA team. And that team would install the Oracle e-business suite application on the servers that Emerson has installed on-premise. And the maintenance of EBS application, keeping it up and running 24/7, disaster recovery, upgradation, patching, cloning, everything is a headache of Emerson. So if you think of all of this, guys, clients used to spend a lot of capital upfront when they deal with on-prem applications. And they have to, despite spending a lot of capital upfront, they also have to spend a lot of time looking after the application. They also have to spend time to manage the teams and all that, right? So there are plenty of, so these are all the disadvantages or downsides of using on-prem applications. Now that's exactly when vendors started coming up with a cloud application. And when Salesforce started its first cloud offering in way back in 2009, guys, nobody believed that cloud would be so big that it is today. Now, if you go back to the same example, if any manufacturing firm like Emerson wants to install Oracle ERP product today, they won't be doing it on-premise. Meaning they're not going to buy the servers from Oracle. They're not going to install it on-premise, install the servers on-premise, and they're not going to run the application on top of it. Instead, Emerson would go to Oracle and say that, yes, I want to use your ERP product. And what Oracle would do was it would go to one of the data center closest to a client location. Assume that Emerson is based out of Chicago. Oracle would go to a data center closest to Chicago location. And what exactly data center means, guys? You have thousands of servers wired up, all the infra facilities in place there. And Oracle would go to the data center, and in one of the servers and on one of the machines, Oracle would install the Fusion application and cloud. And Oracle would share that URL with Emerson. Okay, the Fusion application URL. Now, what is it that Emerson would do? Emerson would receive a URL, which is going to look something like this: a Fusion Cloud application URL from Oracle. And once they access that URL, yes, Oracle is going to share admin login credentials as well of the application. So Emerson would be logging into Fusion Cloud by just entering in the username and password. And what is it that I'm trying to get into, guys? I'm logging into a Fusion cloud application, or I'm logging into Oracle Fusion applications, which is running in cloud. Doesn't mean the cloud's in the sky. It just means that this application is running in the data center of Oracle, not on-premise. Now, what are the advantages of using on-prem applications, cloud applications, guys, when compared to on-prem? First of all, clients don't need to spend a lot of capital upfront. Capital expenditure is converted to operational expenditure. And Emerson need not worry about installation of the application. Emerson need not worry about upgrading the application every quarter or keeping it up and running 24/7 or cloning or patching. Uh, they don't have to worry about anything at all. All of it is taken care by Oracle for them. So this is what we call as software as a service, SaaS product from Oracle. And Emerson or different clients would install or would implement different modules based on their choice. Okay, some clients might implement finance, SCM, or HCM modules. Some client might implement all three. Some clients might implement any combination of them. Okay, now, so 5 to 10 years back, all the applications that clients used to have were on-prem applications. But because of these obvious advantages, because of the obvious advantages that cloud applications have when compared to on-premise, not even 99 guys, 100% of the clients today, if you look at their if you, or 100% of the clients do have a hybrid IT landscape. Now, what I mean by it is, yes, a typical client like Emerson might be using Oracle HCM Cloud. They might be using Oracle Financials in ERP, and they might be using Salesforce to manage their customers. And they might be using ADP to run their payroll. And at the same time, Emerson might be using eBusiness Suite or PeopleSoft or SAP for our manufacturing processes. Now, what does it mean to you and me, guys? What does it mean to you and me? We as integration specialists have to deal with three key integration challenges. Challenge one, how do you integrate Oracle HCM Cloud with ERP Cloud or ERP with SCM? So in short, how do you integrate one Oracle Cloud product with another Oracle Cloud product? That's challenge one. And challenge two, how do you integrate Oracle Cloud product with non-Oracle Cloud product like Salesforce or ADP? So how do you integrate HCM with ADP? Like whenever you hire a new employee in HCM, how do you pass on that information to ADP? Or how do you integrate Oracle ERP Cloud with Salesforce? Maybe you create a new customer, it should show up in ERP Cloud. How do you integrate it? So that's going to be challenge two. Integrating Oracle Cloud applications with non-Oracle Cloud applications like ADP or Salesforce. And challenge three, how do you integrate cloud applications with on-prem applications? Be it Oracle or non-Oracle, doesn't matter. How do you integrate cloud applications with on-prem applications? So fortunately, Oracle or OIC has an easy way to achieve all these three scenarios. And whatever challenges that I just explained, I've listed them down here. The way you build integrations legacy style is too complex. And there was no easy way to move the data from cloud. There was no easy way to move the data from cloud to on-premise or vice versa. And we don't have an option to automate a business process and call it from integration. We do have that provision in OIC. So all the challenges that I just explained, OIC has an easy answer for them. Analytics part, you can ignore it. Now, before I talk about how OIC solves these challenges and what exactly we mean by Oracle or OIC using a configuration-based approach, which means zero code, I want all of you to realize this with the help of a sample integration use case. So what I do is, I hate PPTs, guys. I might use them maximum for 5 to 10 minutes in any particular session. And I'll use it only to set the context for that particular day. Yes, of course, after you enroll in a course, we will be sharing all the material that you're seeing on screen with you. But this material is only for your reference purpose. 95% of the time, I'll be spending in OIC instance showing you how to build the components. Now, what we do is we will take a sample integration scenario and we'll see how to achieve it by building an integration in OIC. Okay. Now, I'm trying to log into OIC instance from here. I'm trying to log into OIC instance from here. And as soon as you get in, you will be able to see a home page. Now, what you're looking at is OIC Gen 3, guys. What you're looking at is OIC Generation 3. So this is a latest product, or latest version that we have from Oracle, latest version of OIC that we have from Oracle. Gen 3 is the latest version. Gen 2 is an old version. It is outdated, phased out. This is Gen 3, and this is exactly what we use in a training session, and that's what clients are using today. And when you click on the navigator, you will be able to see 3 key cloud services here, guys. So if you go to design, you see all the integration related stuff here. So you have integrations, you have Visual Builder Cloud Service. So one obvious thing is, yes, in OIC, as you can make out from the name itself, Oracle Integration Cloud, you can use it to build complex integrations. To keep it simple, you can build integrations and make any system talk to any other system under the sun. So you can integrate cloud applications, on-prem, hybrid, and so on. And not just that, guys, not just that. In OIC, apart from integrations, you also have Visual Builder Cloud Service, VBCS, and you can use this to build custom web or mobile applications. So if your client needs any custom application, or be it expense report app or travel request application, or say AR invoice application, we can build those complex custom applications in VBCS. And most of the custom applications that you build in VBCS or custom web apps needs approval process support. So when employee logs in and submits an expense report or a travel request, it certainly has to go through approval. And that is exactly where Process Cloud Service comes in. Okay, so you can use PCS to build complex multi-layer approval flows to support a VBCS applications. So yes, as part of the course, we will be building 15 complex integrations, 5 VBCS and 5 PCS applications for real-time scenarios. And one of them would be an end-to-end flow linking all the cloud services together. So we'll build one complex end-to-end solution wherein I'll show you how to build a complex web app in VBCS, kick off a multi-layer approval process from it. And after approvals are obtained, I'll show you how to kick off an integration and send the data to Fusion Cloud. To keep it simple, by the time you complete the course, you will not only master the individual cloud services in OIC, but you will also know how to use them together to build custom complex end-to-end flows. Now, enough of marketing, we'll get down to the business. We'll take a live integration scenario, and I want to show you how easy it is to build integrations in OIC. Okay, now what's a use case that we consider, guys? Assume that we're doing this implementation project for Emerson, and assume that Emerson uses Salesforce as their main CRM system. I don't think anyone would be hearing Salesforce for the first time today, but just in case anyone is there, it is a #1 CRM system that we have in the world. And there are thousands of clients who use Salesforce as their main CRM system, meaning whenever they get a new customer, they will be creating, client would be logging into Salesforce and they would be creating a customer there. And as soon as we create a customer in Salesforce, expectation is that that customer should be showing up in ERP Cloud because the customer would have bought something from Emerson, maybe a goods or a service, and Emerson wants to invoice them. Okay. So what would Emerson do, guys? Whenever they get a new customer, they would log into Salesforce. Okay. As soon as Emerson gets a new customer, they log into Salesforce as I'm doing here. And they'll be creating a new customer. From here. Let's say Emerson has got a new customer called John Doe. Okay, and Emerson would be entering all the customer details here, and they would hit the save button. Now, as soon as they hit the save button, Emerson wants this customer to be showing up in ERP Cloud. Remember, the customer would have bought some goods or services from Emerson, and Emerson, let's assume that Emerson is using finance modules in Fusion Cloud application, so receivables, payables, and so on. So yes, the customer would have bought something from Emerson, and Emerson wants to invoice the customer. So they would go to receivables, and they go to billing, and they would try to create an invoice from here. Obviously, what is the expectation of Emerson, guys? So as soon as they create a customer here, and save it, expectation is that that same customer should be showing up in ERP Cloud in the customer dropdown here, so that they can go ahead and invoice the customer. Okay, so that's the expectation. So as soon as we enter the customer details in Salesforce, and as soon as user hits the save button, Emerson wants this customer to be showing up in ERP Cloud AR invoice screen so that they can invoice the customer immediately. Well, two important considerations here. As soon as customer is created in Salesforce, same customer should be created in ERP Cloud. There should be no time gap and no manual intervention. Now, if you say that, boss, I'll create a customer in ERP after half an hour, client might not be okay with it. Because they would, if you create it after half an hour, right, client might forget to invoice the customer, which would be a loss of revenue. So they would definitely say, as soon as they hit the save button here, they want the customer to be showing up in ERP. Whenever you get use cases like this, guys, do you think it's easy to achieve this use case in OIC? It certainly is. And let me show you how you would achieve use cases like this. So the first thing that you have to do is log into OIC instance, go to the design screen, go to integrations, and before you create an integration, you need to establish connectivity from OIC. With a source and the target systems. How do we do that, guys? How do you establish connectivity from OIC with a source and target systems? That is exactly where connections come into picture. So when you try to create a connection, you will have to pick up an adapter. And depending on the system you want to interact with, you need to choose appropriate adapter. Depending on the system that you need to interact with, you have to choose appropriate adapter. And what makes OIC a killer integration product is it has almost 100 plus adapters, guys. And these adapters will help you to talk to any or almost any system that enterprises use, guys. Okay, so if you search for Oracle, you have plenty of systems available here. You have almost 40 plus systems. And you search for SAP, you have an adapter to talk to it. If you search for Salesforce, again, you have an adapter for it. So doesn't matter what is a system that you want to integrate with, guys, you have adapters to talk to them. Now, in this particular case, for this use case, Salesforce is my source system, ERP is my target. So I'll have to create two connections. I'll have to first create a connection with Salesforce adapter to establish connectivity with Salesforce, and then I'll have to establish connectivity with ERP Cloud. So what do? I'll pick up a Salesforce adapter, create a connection first with Salesforce, and I'm going to name it as Salesforce connection. I will be using a UG104 as your batch identifier, guys. I'll be using UG104 as your batch identifier. And anything that I create in OIC for your batch, I'll be using this prefix. And when you practice, you will have to use your initials, guys, so that you know what are the components that you are creating. Okay. So for example, if Akshay Mudastam is practicing it, he would be using, instead of UG104, he would use AK there. Now you give it a name, and as you type in a name, identifier would be generated automatically. Everything converted to caps, spaces replaced with underscore. And you need to choose a role for the connection. And this is a very, very important concept, guys. And I would need at least 30 minutes to explain this in detail. And day one session is not the right time for this. When we build the first integration in OIC, guys, when we build our first REST API, I will explain a significance of this role in detail. But until then, you leave it as trigger and invoke, and you go ahead and create it. So this is exactly how you create the connection. And you click on a create button. And in the next screen, when you create a Salesforce connection, guys, in the next screen, you will have to enter a Salesforce username, password, and you will also have to enter a token as well. So it's slightly complicated, guys. It's slightly complicated. So yes, we will. Anyways, I'll show you how to create this connection when we do this use case. Remember, guys, we're going to do this exact same integration use case as integration 13 in one of the future sessions. But today I'm going to just show you or give you a high-level walkthrough of what exactly we are going to do in that session or in that service. So when we do the actual service build, we'll create this connection. So just assume that a Salesforce connection is created with required details entered in the next screen. Now, after the Salesforce connection is ready, what else do we need to do, guys? We need to create an ERP cloud connection, because I need to create a customer in ERP cloud. So I'll pick up ERP cloud adapter, give it a name, UG104 ERP connection. And as usual, identifier is generated. Role, I'll leave it as trigger and invoke. Click on create. And we need to go ahead and enter, depending on the adapter that you pick up, the connection properties would change, guys. Okay, so if it is ERP cloud, it would prompt you to enter the ERP cloud URL, username and password. If it is FTP adapter, it would ask you to enter the FTP hostname, port, username and password. If it is a DB connection, you would be prompted to enter the DB details. So the point is, depending on the adapter that you choose, the details that you enter within a connection would change. So in this case, this is my Fusion Cloud instance URL. And yes, I will be giving you access to the OIC Fusion Cloud instance as well for you to practice. So I've entered the ERP Cloud instance URL here, and I'll also have to enter the username and password. I don't want to expose the password in a session, guys, so I'm going to pause my screen share, get the password. I've copied the password, and I'm going to paste that in here. Test the connection. So what would OIC try to do now, guys? It would try to log into this Fusion Cloud instance with the help of username and password that we entered here. And if the login credentials are correct, you should be able to see the connection status changing to 100%. So which means going forward, I can use this ERP connection in the integration flows to talk to ERP cloud. Now, what do I mean by talk to ERP cloud? You can load the data into Fusion Cloud using SOAP or REST APIs. You can do the data extraction. You can basically do anything you want in Fusion Cloud with the help of ERP connection. Go ahead and save the connection. So this is step number one, guys. Before you build any integration, understand what are the systems that you need to talk to. And from OIC, you need to establish connectivity with those systems by creating a relevant connections, picking up those adapters. And once the connections are ready, all you have to do is go back into the integration, and you'll have to create an integration flow. Now, let me show you how that integration is going to look like. I'm just going to use integration I created for one of the old batch here. I'm going to share my screen back in a moment, guys. Okay, I'll just use this as an example, the one that I created for one of the old batches. So when I got this use case, guys, first of all, when I got this use case, I was completely new to Salesforce. I don't even know ABC of it. I don't even know ABC of it. Okay. Now, and a client has explained me the use case. They said that they would enter the customer details, hit the save button, and they want the customer to show up here. Now, I've set up a couple of hours, a Zoom meeting with a Salesforce technical team because I was completely new to Salesforce, guys. Please note that as an OIC developer, client will not expect you to be a master of Salesforce or ERP cloud, guys. It is none of your business, to be frank. Every application will have a functional and a technical teams. Salesforce will have a functional and a technical team. ERP will also have a relevant teams, functional and technical. Your job as an OIC developer is to talk to those teams, understand the expectations, or understand what are the provisions available in those systems to achieve the use cases and build your integration accordingly. That is all you're supposed to do. So when I got this use case, Salesforce technical team, yes, I explained the use case to them, and all they said is, and my question to them was, as soon as we hit the save button, expectation is that customer should go to ERP. Now I asked Salesforce technical team, is there a way that we can do some process automation when we hit a save button on a customer screen? Can we do some process automation in the background? Now, what Salesforce technical team has shown me is, in fact, I was not even given access to a Salesforce. So whatever steps that I'm going to show you in Salesforce now, these are the setups that are done by Salesforce technical team, and they're just showing me what they're doing, like what I'm doing now. So they have shown me that, yes, Prasad, we can create a process automation flow. We can create a process automation flow. And we can also create that process automation flow based on a record creation or updation. So what Salesforce technical team did is they have created a process automation flow like this, which gets triggered as and when account is created or updated. Okay. So as and when customer account is created or updated, this flow gets triggered. And from a flow, we can perform whatever actions you want here. Now I asked Salesforce technical team, what are the actions that we can perform? They have shown me these actions. They said, Prasad, we can send out an email if you want. So that is not my requirement. We can update the data in Salesforce. That is also not my requirement. We can send a message outside of Salesforce to another system by calling an integration. And this is exactly what we need, right? So because we need to send the customer to ERP. So what do? We go ahead and create an outbound message. And in the outbound message, and that outbound message is what you're calling from here. And within the outbound message, we would be plugging in the integration endpoint URL, OIC integration endpoint URL. So the point is, as soon as new customer account is created in Salesforce and we hit the save button, this flow gets triggered. And from a flow, we are calling outbound message. And from the outbound message, an integration that you build in OIC will be triggered. And to that integration in OIC, all the customer related fields that you see here, all the customer related fields will be passed as input to it. So all Salesforce technical team has told me is, Prasad, your job is very simple. You build an integration and you give me the endpoint URL so that a Salesforce technical team has used my integration endpoint URL here. Now, what I did is I came back to OIC instance and I created a integration. I created an integration using application style. When you create an integration, guys, you need to choose an integration style for it. And there are 3 styles for you to choose from. And if you're building an integration that will be triggered by another application on demand or whenever required, in such cases, we will use application style. So this integration that I'm going to build now will be triggered by Salesforce application whenever a new customer is created. So we will use application integration style for it. We'll be talking about schedule and event in detail in tomorrow's session. So this is what I did. I created a new integration using application style, because when you create an integration using application style, there will be an endpoint URL generated, and that endpoint URL can be used to call the integration from another application. And that another application can be a Salesforce, it can be ERP cloud, it can be database, it can be FTP server, doesn't matter. To keep it simple, you build an integration, there would be a URL generated, you can call it from anywhere you want, any other application. So in this case, you see here, when you look at the integration, you see a brief picture. It tells you that Salesforce is a target and ERP connection is used as a Salesforce is a trigger, ERP is the target here, source and a target, trigger and invoke, and you have a service name. And when you click on it, you would be able to see the details. Now I'll be creating this integration. In fact, we'll do it together. We'll be creating this integration from scratch. As part of integration 13, we'll be building this integration from scratch. But in today's session, I'm going to just give you a walkthrough of how exactly I would have created it. So when you create an integration using application style, you will see a blank screen. At the moment you're seeing all these nodes, right? So when you create an integration, you would see a blank screen. And the first thing that you do is you will click on a plus icon. You see a plus icon like this keeps popping up. And you will just search for a Salesforce connection. You will search for a Salesforce connection. And you will configure that Salesforce connection as a trigger node. Any integration you build is the first connection that you have is called as a trigger connection. And in this case, since Salesforce is going to trigger our integration will choose the Salesforce connection as a trigger. Remember, I didn't create Salesforce connection, but assume that you have created one. You will be choosing that connection as a first node and you configure it. And once you configure Salesforce connection as a trigger, what would happen is, as and when you hit the save button on the Salesforce customer screen, flow would be triggered. From a flow, outbound message will be triggered, and from an outbound message, your integration will be called. And to this integration, all the customer details will be passed as input here. Now, the second half of the story begins. I receive the customer details, and I need to go to ERP Cloud, and I need to create a customer in ERP Cloud, which shows up here. Now, I'm not really sure how many of you know this, guys, but customer is a master data entity. It's a master data in Fusion Cloud. It is not like a purchase order or an invoice or a journal wherein you call a one web service and that would create a journal or a PO or AR invoice in cloud. Customer is a master data. And at this point, I went to Fusion technical team and I asked them, what are the web services that I have to call to create a customer in ERP cloud? Because my intention is I get one customer at a time and I need to create it in cloud. Now, what Fusion technical team has told me is, Prasad, there are three services that you have to call. See, there is a customer account service, and when you call it, it will create a customer account and an account site. But the problem is, for a customer account and an account site to be created, you need to have a party and a party site registered first. So you need to register the customer as an organization first, as a party and a party site. Because when you create a customer account, it gets linked to party, account site gets linked to party site. And when you call organization service, party gets created, but party site would fail. And why did a party site fails? It would probably say a location is not created. So if you don't pass in a location, party site creation will fail. So whatever address is entered in a Salesforce screen here, whatever is address is entered in a Salesforce screen, we would try to call the location service first, register a location in ERP, and with that location, we create a party and a party site, and then we create a customer account and an account site. Now, who is going to give you all the story in real time? Who is going to give you this design? It will be the Fusion technical team and a functional team who will tell you this. Now, all I need to do was, as an integration developer, once I understand what services I need to call and what mappings I have to do, I'll just have to click on a plus icon and I can see my ERP connection here. UG104 ERP connection. I click on a plus icon and I use that ERP connection to create a location. So the first step that I need to do was I need to create a location in ERP. And I'm using ERP cloud connection that I've created. And I want to perform CRUD operations in cloud using ERP connection. And when we use this CRUD operations, we want to use this option to create, to call the SOAP and REST APIs. Remember, there are two types of web services available in the market today, guys. You have SOAP services and you have REST APIs. Now, please don't worry too much about it, guys. If you're hearing these terms for the first time, like SOAP services and REST APIs, just bear with me for today and tomorrow's session. Day 3 and day 4, we will be covering web service basics. Day 3, we will be focusing on SOAP services. And day 4, we focus on REST APIs. See, there are some key terms associated with SOAP services, guys, like XML schema documents, WSDLs, XMLs, operations, and so on. And when it comes to REST API, you have HTTP methods, you have relative path, you have endpoint URL, and you have JSON payloads and so on. So if you're not clear on the web service basics, nothing to worry. Day 3 will focus on SOAP services. Day 4, we focus on REST APIs. And once we're done with day 3 and day 4 sessions, you will be very clear on each of the terms that I use in a training session. Okay, so in this particular case, I can make use of ERP connection to call any standard SOAP service or a REST API given by Oracle. In this case, all I need to do was I just need to call a location service. So I go to services, I'll search for location service. And similar to how you have procedures within a package, guys, similar to how you have procedures within a package, within operations, within web services or SOAP services, you have operations. You will just have to choose a relevant operation. So I'm selecting location service, create location. And what is it that I'm asking OIC to do here, guys? I'm asking OIC to go to ERP cloud and create a location there. In which ERP cloud instance will it try to create a location, guys? In which ERP cloud instance will it try to create a location? Those details I mentioned in a connection itself. So if you look at the connection, UG104 ERP connection, I have ERP URL, username and password. So I'm asking OIC to log into this instance with this username and password, and I'm asking it to create a location there. Now, when I do this, OIC would say, okay, Prasad, I'll create a location. But immediately it would create a mapper. Or transfer. So this is how it looks like. You would be able to see a mapper created automatically with a dotted line. And when you get into a mapper, you would be able to see on the target, OIC says, Prasad, pass in the address details with which you want the location to be created. With what address details you want the location to be created in cloud. Now, this is the target in the mapper, and this is a source. And in the source side, or on the source side, what exactly would you see, guys? You will be able to see the address details that you received from Salesforce. You will be able to see the address details you received from Salesforce, and here are the address details we have to pass it to ERP. Remember, the attribute names can be different. You just have to pick up an attribute from source and map it to the target. So you take in billing country and map it to ERP cloud. And you can also pick up something like billing street, maybe map it to address 1 and so on. So this is how you can map the values that you receive from source system and pass it as input to the target systems here. The field names could be different. And one simple thing that you can do here is drag and drop the attribute from source to target. But apart from this, a lot of complex XSL transformations is possible here. And we'll focus on that as and when we progress in the course. Now, this is how simple it is to build integrations in OIC, guys. Any use case that you have to achieve, 2 or 3 simple steps. Establish connectivity with those systems by creating the required connections. And then you build an integration flow and you configure the connections, you configure the source, and you configure the target connections and you do the mappings. As simple as that. And do you do any coding here? Absolutely zero coding. You just click on a plus icon, select what connections you want to invoke or what actions you want to perform. Do you want to send an email? Do you want to assign a value to a variable, or do you want to log some message? So any action that you want to perform, any connection that you want to call, you just have to click on a plus icon and do that. So this is exactly what we mean by OIC following a configuration-based approach. It's zero code, meaning you just drag and drop the components and do the mappings. And it is easy to integrate applications, cloud applications with on-prem and vice versa. Because in OIC, we have a concept called connectivity agents. And this connectivity agent will help you to talk to on-prem applications. And in one of the integration scenarios, I'll be covering this in depth. Okay. And we also have an option to do a process automation and call it from integrations, because we, as you know, we do have VBCS and PCS as well, not just the integrations in OIC. So OIC offers much more than integrations within the product. You can build complex end-to-end solutions linking all the cloud services together as well. Now that brings us to what exactly OIC is. It stands for Oracle Integration Cloud. It is a PaaS product, guys, platform as a service product from Oracle. And it is a single unified cloud service, which has 3 cloud services within it. You have integrations, you have PCS, and you have VBCS. You have integrations, you have PCS and VBCS. And all these 3 cloud services put together is offered as one single product called as Oracle Integration Cloud. And this is platform as a service product, guys. And clients would be using this platform to build the required integrations for implementation of Fusion Cloud. Remember, guys, any client who implements Fusion Cloud, they would definitely need OIC to build the required inbound, outbound scenarios, and so on. And that is where you and me come into picture as an integration specialist. Now, before I open up a session for questions, guys, it's a 5 to 6 p.m. IST batch. Monday to Friday, we do 1 hour training session, and batch goes on for 10 weeks. As part of the course, I'll show you how to build close to 15 complex integrations. And when I say 15 integrations, guys, these 15 integrations will cover pretty much all the scenarios that you're likely to run into in real time. We'll be building 4 complex inbound integrations. Okay. So we'll see how to build a complex SOAP and REST APIs for finance and SCM use cases to load the data into Fusion Cloud. And we'll also see how to do a bulk data uploads with the help of file automations using FPDA and HDL automations into FSCM here and HCM cloud applications. These are the 4 inbound integrations we build. And we would also be building 4 outbound integrations as well, wherein I'll show you how to extract the data from Fusion Cloud and send it to other systems using various approaches again, how to do it in bulk using BIP, how to do event-driven orchestrations, how to use HCM extracts, atom feeds, and so on. So we'll build 4 inbound integrations, 4 outbound integrations, and in between, you will be building quite a few other integration use cases, like publisher-subscriber integrations with event streaming. How do you integrate cloud with on-prem application with connectivity agent? In this use case, I'll show you the agent installation end-to-end process and how to use it in the integration scenarios. And we'll see third-party integrations with systems like Salesforce and so on. And not just integrations, there's 15 integrations, 5 VBCS and 5 PCS applications we would also be building. And one of them would be a complex end-to-end flow linking all the cloud services together. All the sessions will happen over Zoom. We record them and give you lifetime access to them, guys. As you can see, I'm recording this session as well. So just in case you miss any session in the evening, maybe you had an emergency meeting, nothing to worry. You have a recording to go through. Then check it out. Let me know if you have any questions in the next day session. And we'll also be giving you access to all this material that you're seeing on screen. Plus, we'll also give you instance access. We'll give you access to OIC, Fusion Cloud, SFTP server, and a database in cloud, so that whatever use cases I cover in a training session, You can practice it and let me know if you have any questions in the next day session. And at the end of the course, if you're looking for job change, we'll help you with a sample resume. We conduct a mock interview, give you a personalized feedback. And if you're planning to take up a certification exam from Oracle, guys, whatever I cover as part of integrations track, this alone will be more than enough for you to clear the certification exam quite easily. And also to help you understand what sort of questions can come in the exam, we will be giving you a certification dumps, only to let you know what sort of questions can come, not that only those questions will come. And most of you have already made a fee payment, guys. We did send out onboarding email as well during the day. And I think there are around 7 or 8 who are yet to make a fee payment. If you are interested to proceed with the enrollment, do send us a WhatsApp message on this number. Team will let you know the enrollment process and you can proceed with it. And those of you who have already received the OIC instance access, guys, please get into the instance and try to create the required connections and make yourself comfortable within the OIC instance. Okay. Any questions from anyone, guys? Please raise your hand. I'll call out the name and only that person, please unmute yourself, ask the question, go back on mute once your question is answered. Okay. Any questions from anyone? Yes, Srikanth, go on.
Yeah, actually, while practicing the OIC, so if I have any doubt
I'll be available during the day on this WhatsApp number. If you get stuck anywhere, just send me a WhatsApp message. I'll let you know where you are going wrong. And another important point is you and me will be using the same OIC instance, meaning you have access to the integration that I've created in a session. You have session recording with you. You have PPT materials with you. And when we build the first complex integration in OIC, I will also show you how to debug your integrations yourself. Okay. So which means, yes, 90% of the use cases, Srikanth will be able to take care of it himself. But just in case, if you're not able to, please note that Prasad is only WhatsApp away. Okay. WhatsApp message away.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Sridhar, go on. Once your question is answered, please lower the hand, guys, to avoid confusion.
Salesforce access will also be given.
Sorry?
Salesforce access, just like
Salesforce,
you
yeah, Salesforce, I can share my access, but the problem is when you try to log into Salesforce with my credentials, right? It sends out an OTP to my mobile. So what I do is I can share my credentials and I can share the OTP also. But what I would recommend is we ask students to create their own Salesforce account. So when we do this integration, right, I'll show you how to create a new free Salesforce account for yourself in less than 2 minutes time. And once you create it, you can go ahead and use it in the integration use case. Okay. Yes, Deepak.
Yeah. Hey. So this access will be there until when?
3 months. 3 months from a batch start date. If you want to extend it, it is certainly possible, but it comes at a cost. And what is the exact price? We can talk about it on WhatsApp on this number. The vendor keeps changing that price. Yeah, but 3 months from a batch start date is what you get access by default, and 2 months during the course and 1 month after it. But please note that it can be extended on a paid basis if required.
Okay. One more question. This non-interactive integration means the kind of batch when the file is coming,
correct,
but it doesn't hit the screen. That part also is
of course, yes.
So it is not a basically replacement of a data warehouse application where the bulk data is coming and getting loaded into a different analytics area, or does it replacing data warehousing also? Where we need to
it doesn't it doesn't replace data warehouse. It feeding the data from Fusion Cloud, extracting it in bulk and loading it into data warehouse is something that you can do. Right? But OIC is not a warehouse; it's an integration product basically. But it can be used to integrate with any product. Warehouse can be a target or it can be a source as well.
Okay.
And in fact, when we do a file-based automations, right, you will understand more about it.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Prasad.
Thank you. Yes, Prasad.
Yeah, Prasad. Yeah. Do we need any Oracle SOA or OSP concepts knowledge?
Absolutely zero.
Okay.
And in fact, I would love if you don't have that experience. If you have it, that's okay. It will be very easy for you to understand what we are doing here because OIC is far more easier when compared to SOA. But if you don't know it, it's in fact even more easier for you to learn it, because if you know an integration product, like it is like unlearning it and learning a new thing. If you don't know anything in SOA, you can just learn it with a fresh mind. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Will it
absolutely
replace?
no prerequisites required.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, will it replace MuleSoft?
It doesn't replace MuleSoft. It's a good question. So MuleSoft is another very good integration product, but it is used by clients to deal with other products that they have in an IT landscape, like Salesforce implementations typically use MuleSoft. Because see, for example, in OIC, right? In OIC, when I search for adapters here, when I search for Oracle, I've seen 40 adapters there, right? Similarly, when you go to Salesforce and when you search for Salesforce, you will find as many adapters there. So if it is an Oracle implementation, clients usually prefer OIC with Fusion Cloud implementations, because you have plenty of adapters which make it very easy to integrate with them. MuleSoft is typically used with other source and target systems, not necessarily Fusion Cloud. And there are plenty of clients, guys, who use both MuleSoft and OIC together. Like if you take the case of, say, HSBC or pretty big clients, right? So they usually use a mix of integration products. OIC is extensively used in Fusion Cloud implementations.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Divya.
Hi, Prashad. Actually, I'm having over a 10-year of IT experience, and then I was thinking to do this course and switch my job. So alone, this course will be useful for me
No, I
in
just
switching
want
the job.
to, before I comment on it, I just want to understand your profile a little bit further so that we can suggest you, first of all, whether this course is suitable for you or not, and how exactly you need to tweak your profile and start applying for jobs once the course is done. Point number one, OIC is in great demand today. It has thousands of jobs.
Okay.
And and it is also not a big deal to master this product, because as you have seen, it's just a matter of understanding how to do it. And since you already have 10 years of experience, all you have to do is, once you master the product, you will have to replace at least 3 or 4 years of your experience, not faking it. Obviously, I just want you to change the projects and say that you have done something related to OIC with Fusion Cloud implementations rather than what exactly you're doing at the moment. So that way you can make your profile relevant, and you can also start negotiating on top of your current CTC as well. And we can probably have an offline chat on this. I don't want to discuss everything in a session here.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah.
So I'll try to connect with you offline on this.
On this number, call me tomorrow between 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. IST. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone, guys? Yes, Pradosh.
Yeah, also wanted to understand, are we going to explore some integrations around usage of object storage related file?
In one session, I'll be covering the miscellaneous actions or other important actions that you need to understand. So yes, I'll in one of the session I'll show you how you can use object storage to pull the file from an integration, or to upload a file to it from OIC. But usually it is SFTP servers that we normally use. But yes, I'll show it in one of the sessions.
Okay, and also autonomous databases, right?
Autonomous databases
ATB.
It is definitely the most important concept, and we'll talk about it in detail, because when you do file-based automations, right, especially FPDA or HDLs, when you get a file from a data source, obviously you don't get a file in a required format that you have to send it to ERP. So you would have to dump it to a DB layer, and you have to do a bulk transformation, enrichments, validations here before you generate a file in required format and send it to cloud. Autonomous database usage is probably one of the most important concepts, and we'll be covering it in depth.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow. Same Zoom link will work. And if anyone is yet to complete the enrollment process, please send a message on this number, guys. Team will let you know the process. Thank you.